Good evening, everybody. This is Wade Ivy with the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals. We are here to discuss or to provide a platform for the candidates for the 2016-2017 election to have an opportunity to share their platforms with you all. We will start at 8 o'clock promptly, but we wanted to log on and make sure that we were going live, that folks who are trying to follow us live on Google Hangouts can do so. So I will be back shortly at 8 o'clock to start the forum. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Wade Ivy. I am the Procedures and Policy Chairperson for the Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals. I have the pleasure of hosting this year's candidate forum. It is our opportunity that we want to provide the membership and the candidates to present their platform and to discuss with everyone why they feel they are best suited for the position that they are running for. So we have a great lineup set up for everyone. The forum will last probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the discussion. So a little housekeeping, the way things will set up is that each candidate will have an opportunity to share their platform and why they are vying for your vote. Each candidate will have 5 minutes to do that. After the candidate's speech, there will be 5 minutes of question and answer. Questions should be submitted on the Google Hangout chat area, or the section there where you can share your comments. Submit your questions there, and I will see them after the candidate presents their platform. I will read those questions to the candidate and allow them an opportunity to answer. So, this session is being recorded, so for those who were not able to be present at the live forum, the Recording of the session will be presented, will be available through Google Hangouts, and we will have a link to that so that folks can have access to that on our website. So with that, I want to remind everyone we have a limited number of spaces for those who are actively sharing on the Google Hangout. That number is 10. If you are not scheduled to be on in the next session or two, we'll ask you to log out and view the session from the public link that we sent out. That way you can view it, but you will not be logged in and able to speak in the forum. And then once your time comes back around, you'll be able to log back in and be present. So with that, and I also like to remind folks to mute your microphones, those who are in the session. That way we aren't picking up any feedback from your mics, and that way we will all be in line. So, with no further ado, I will give the floor to Ms. Ancharis Glover, who is running for the Personal and Professional Development Chairperson for the Urban League Greater Atlanta. And at this time, Ancharis, I will give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Wade. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to pitch and hope that everyone has had a good weekend. So when we talk about professional development, personal and professional development, I immediately think about being in grad school and relocating to Georgia, Atlanta. I was unemployed, and I felt like I should take the opportunity to do what I do best, which is be of service. So I lurked for a little while when it came to Urban League and decided ultimately to join PPD. That's where I landed. It's where I've remained for the past year and a half. And when I think about an organization that's been around since the early 1900s, it requires sustainability, a certain level of sustainability, and sustainability comes from good leadership. You have to have someone on staff in all of the board positions that understands what it means to be of service and to be a good leader. So I could speak on my background, but I'll more so speak to purpose, because passion is important, but we also have to stand in our purpose. And my purpose has always been to serve the community wherever I am. So that kind of ties into the reason I'd like to sit or be nominated and ultimately land the PPD chair. So it's not necessarily about title. Each year as we progress, or as I progress, I learn a bit more about myself. And titles are important at a certain stage, depending upon what it is you're attempting to accomplish, but it's the hard work behind that title. And what I've learned is you can't accomplish anything alone, so you have to rely on a team. And PPD is the ultimate team. We have a great time, we laugh, but we get the job done. Prime example is right now we're working on the business bus tour. Everyone is not always fully aware, but it takes commitment. You have to be there. You have to be accessible. If someone is sending an instant message in the group me, or if there's an email that's sent out, we have to be available and ready to act, because it's what's required in order for these workshops to come together. So speaking to my personal mission statement, it's to submit myself as a resource for young professionals, and that's essentially what it is that we do on PPD. Whether we're serving those who are in a specific age bracket, or if someone needs assistance specifically with a resume, we want to be that resource, and we want to do bigger and better things every year. And yesterday, attending the STEM Wars, something dawned on me. Wow, we have speed mentoring. None of us had ever done that, not only with children, but as adults. And so these ideas that come, you know, it's from those light bulb moments, and we want to be able to flesh those out and see them come to fruition. So you have to be, one, again, present. and you have to be engaged and know who your audience is. One of the things that I would like to accomplish as PPD chair is, again, acknowledging that we're at different stages in life and in our careers. We have a 21 to 40-year-old range in this organization, and so I feel like sometimes we're stuck in the middle. So I would like to see us move out and take advantage of the fact that we have members who might need different things, whether it's a 529 account that they need assistance with versus student loans, or if it's, someone still needing assistance with mentorship. So that's kind of where I am in my vision for PPD. We want to continue to expand and broaden. We do amazing things as a team. We have great leadership. Sad to see Christy step away, but the good thing is that, again, we will continue to have her as a resource along with other members of the team and the board. And so we just want to continue to grow and build on the momentum, because what we do is important to us as professionals in this organization, but also the community, and that's the most important thing. When we're out and we're working with children and we're working with other adults, we want the impact of Urban League to come across. We want the impact of the different committees to be what people talk about, and we want it to be, again, sustaining, and that's important when we choose to have someone come into a leadership role. So that's my spill for PPD chair. I hope that you will trust me or entrust me to carry the flag into the next year. And I see Wade popping up, so I think I'm done. Thanks, you guys.
Well, thank you very much. No, do not allow, do not take my pop-up as a rushing you off. I'm just getting ready for the next part of the session.
Okay.
So I was looking to see if we had any questions from the viewing audience at this point.
Okay.
And we do not.
Okay.
So at this, well, I have a question.
Sure.
As if you were elected PPD chair, what would be your primary goal?
The primary goal is to be able to tap into the talent that we have. We have a vast array of individuals who are a part of this organization, and we don't necessarily know. I found out through the e-blast just recently that Darian has a very similar business to what it is that we do on PPD, and I messaged her actually and said, hey, why aren't you running for PPD chair? Because it's badass, right? So she has this fantastic business, and I had no idea that that's what it is that, that's the space that she's choosing to work in. People like Nicole, people like Noreen who are on staff with us. When they contribute their services, it puts me into an element where, okay, this is something that I'm unfamiliar with, which means that we're always learning. I'm always learning something from them as my peers. So I would just like to tap in more into the talent that we have across the board, not only as an organization, but PPD specifically, because we have some great people on our team.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. I think that'll be very helpful for our viewing audience and for folks really understanding your platform and what you plan to bring to the organization. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I am looking for if there are other questions from the audience, and I received a message saying that it doesn't look like there's a place on the public forum to ask questions, and we'll look into that. The worst case scenario, what we'll do is we will take questions as they come.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so it does exist. I'm getting word that, yes, so if you're viewing in the public forum, at the bottom of the page, it has the box that says share. So in that box, you can enter your questions and post them there, and I'll read them there and ask the candidates on your behalf. So thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Ann Charles. So next up on the list, the other candidate running for the personal and professional development is Keisha Person. And I don't see Keisha logged in here. So I will ask, make sure we mute our microphones. And if Keisha does not appear in the next few seconds, we will move on to community service. So I'll give about 30 seconds. And if not, we will move on. Okay, guys, next up, we have those candidates running for the community service chairpersonship. And first up will be Sam Colbreth III. Sam, you there? You have to unmute your mic.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
I was trying to find it.
All right, floor is all yours, Sam.
All right. Well, thank you for hearing me out, everyone. For anybody that knows me, I'm really short and to the point. Because basically, if I get kind of long-winded, there will be a lot of fallacies and everything, and people normally take me apart. So, but I'm just going to be short and quick about my platform. So, basically, as far as community service, I will sum it up into what I feel is probably what is the most poignant message for community service is doing the most good, doing the most impact. How, if the impact needs to be able to literally ripple throughout a community, even if you touch one person, then maybe you might be able to, they may be maybe they'll touch another person through the service that you offer. Also, another thing I'm big on is service learning. So I believe that when it comes to community service, um, it should be an active process where basically, one, you should know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then also learning something from it, whether it's something about yourself or the organization that you're doing or the specific initiative. And then also, as you know, Urban League is a service-oriented entity. So my focus in in my tenure as appointed community service chair has been to focus on the affiliate and supporting their programs because they're out there doing the most good, and it's just that sometimes there are capacity issues. And my focus has been on the youth portion, and then so basically just trying to build that out because a lot of a lot of there's a lot of great work that goes on at the Urban League, but they may not have the capacity to be able to reach everyone, or even from a marketing standpoint. Um, you figure it would be a no-brainer for all the great programs that they offer, but also just kind of shedding the light on it, and that's what we do through our service. Just recently, we did the STEM Wars, which was super cool. We actually had Noreen teach a STEM-based class, and then we did speed mentoring, which basically speed mentoring kind of takes that whole impact that you would be able to offer to a child and truncates it into a smaller package. And both went well. And also we did market the Urban Leagues program. So that's kind of where my main platform stands, as far as really reaching out to the affiliate and seeing how we can serve them, help them serve their clients. But I'm not averse to shaking it up with some variety and also partnering with other service entities. But my primary focus on this term has been on the affiliate itself. But in going forward, in forming a strategic plan throughout the year, then we'll have those strategic partnerships as well. So But I am very service oriented. I've probably, since I've been in Atlanta, has probably volunteered with close to maybe 60 different service entities. So I have a little bit of experience at it in the variety that offers in the people that we're serving ultimately. So when I ask for your vote, I'm asking for basically just patience as well, but also just a look towards the future of what community service can mean in general, and so hopefully you'll vote for me, and thank you for listening.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. I'm looking to see if there are questions that have been posted, and I don't see any, but I want to make sure I'm actually looking in the right place. So I don't see any questions, but I will ask you the same question I asked in Charis, and that is, I know you mentioned that you believe in supporting the affiliate, but is there one of the primary, is there an activity that the affiliate does that you want to primarily focus on in the coming year?
No particular one, but for right now, the focus has been on the youth portion because I think that's
Oh, hold on, Sam.
oh,
Aaron, can you mute your mic, please, sir? Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Sam.
okay, cool. Um, So really, I want to spread the love among all the different programs, but I did have, if anybody doesn't know, I was previously the youth liaison, which was kind of a created board position. And as I got in tuned with the Project Ready program, I learned that there was a lot of need there. And then, so that was my focus, but it's not limited to that. But also, I'll say this. Of course, the youth are our most valuable resource, and we want to reach out to them first. So that's kind of my baby, that's my heart. But I definitely want to reach out to all the other programs like Neighborhood College, some of our housing programs, but mainly is making sure that the volunteers will have a more active experience when they're doing their service for the affiliate. So that's kind of the reason why I kind of took that one, but I'm not limited to that, and I'm definitely trying to build that out.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. At this time, we don't have any other questions. Um, well, yeah, I don't think we have another question. Brother Aaron, if you're listening, keep chatting with me on here, and we'll see if we can figure it out. So at this time, we will open up the floor to Miss Shalandra Young. She is also running for the community service chairpersonship. So at this moment, Ms. Young, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Wade. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone has had a great weekend. I want to start off actually with my vision statement for the upcoming elections for community service. And my vision statement simply states that community service leads a collective effort to change the trajectory of today's generation's youth through support and collaborative efforts to bridge the community by empowering our youth and inspiring them to be upcoming leaders. So I share that with you because I'm very passionate about youth, community, and service. So prior to moving to Atlanta, back in September, I lived in the state of Florida where I worked for Department of Children and Families for about 10 years, both working as a liaison for the state to bridge pretty much our community and our youth. So that's just a little bit about my history. I've served on community service boards. I have served as a volunteer representative. You name it, I've done it when it comes down to community and service, human trafficking, domestic violence, and I'm pretty passionate about every area. So if you want to talk about service, you want to talk about the youth of our communities and families, I'm the person. So I was very pleased to be nominated for the community service chair. And some of my goals with this upcoming year, if elected for the community service chair position, are as follows. I would like to see us not only encompass and continue to wrap our services around our young people and our Project Ready program in our affiliate, which is one of the main supports of our affiliate. But I also want to see us as a young professional league to adopt our own mentoring program for young professionals. I gauge our chat weekly, daily, and I see that there's a great need for individuals within the young professional community that want to actually reach out and actually touch young people. During Christmas time, for those that are new and those that have been previous members, you know that during Christmas time, Urban League assisted me in bringing one of my former foster youth to Atlanta for his very first Christmas. So it was a Home for the Holidays event that we actually sponsored this young man to come here and experience life outside of Florida, which is something that I would like to see us do moving forward, and it be an annual thing for Urban League. Another key thing that I definitely want to see us do, on top of developing our own mentorship program within the Young Professional League, is that we continue to support those young people that receive scholarships with us through the Dreamcatchers program. So when they are receiving their scholarships from us during the summertime, that we follow up with them, whether it's monthly or quarterly, sending these young people care packages, having a robust program where we are consistently following up with them to ensure that their needs are being met during their freshman year of college. Because as most of us know, freshman years of college is some of the hardest years, especially being away from family if you are, or just being in a community and struggling with the fact that you're now an adult. So that's another one of my goals. And one of my third goals, I think, is very important, that not only are we reaching our young people, which they are our future, and we must be the change that we want to see in them. However, the change does also start with family. And I think oftentimes with service and community work that we sometimes look more into our young people and we forget about the family, not understanding the fact that family is where it all starts. So I want to see us to put on more family community service focused events and activities as well, that we're not only building up our young people, but we're building up families and we're making strong communities out of that, whether it's having a job expo, whether it's having Dress for Success events, whether it's just having family engagement, teaching the family dynamic, how to be able to support their young people as they go to college. So these families that are coming through our Dreamcatchers program, being able to support the families and wrap services around them to be able to support their children as they go off to their freshman year. And lastly, I want to say that the very last thing that I want to see is Urban League right now is 200 members strong. I definitely want to see us grow in as it relates to our community service. I think we are a strong enough organization that we can turn out in greater numbers to support the service that we are giving to our community. And that's one thing that I want to do, and that is my commitment, is to ensure that we are organized, that communication is there, and that there is definitely enough notice and reminders going out to our members, to keep them involved, to hear from our members what is needed, and definitely to meet our community where they are. So not letting any opportunities pass us by where we can service our community. And that is my time.
Well, thank you very much, Shalandra. At this moment, I'm looking for questions. I don't see any questions at this moment, but there's at least some uncertainty about where to post questions. So questions can be posted where I can see them in the Google Plus page. That is the page where you click on the link to start the webcast. On that page, if you in the say something box underneath, you can post questions there, and I can see them there. So I think, Aaron, you're trying to post maybe in the live link page, and I'm not seeing that. So if Sam is here. So I believe Aaron had a question for Sam. So Sam and Shalandra, if you'll hang on the line for a second and give Aaron a chance to post that question if he still has it. That way then I can get that question in. But until that happens, we will move on. So the next position that is up for elections for this year is the membership chairperson. And our first candidate that will be speaking today is Shalondon Hollingshed. And I will give the floor to Shalondon. It's all you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Shalondon Hollingshed, and I am currently serving as your membership chair for FY16. And I hope that you will vote for me as your membership chair for FY17. This has been an amazing experience for me thus far. I have learned so much about our organization, as well as about myself and the members of this organization. And so my hope is that we can continue to build upon the things that we've started this year. So I know that we only have been given like 5 minutes. So I'm going to briefly talk about some of the things that we have done under my leadership as membership chair, and then talk about the vision that I have for FY17. So really quickly, this year, one of our goals was to have YP t-shirts, and we were able to get that done. Thank you to Nicole for designing our t-shirts. We were able to purchase those and sell those at our general body meetings for our members to wear. The second goal that we had was to create a membership promotional video. This video, we had over 10% of our members participate in the membership promotional video, and it is now located on our website for new members and potential members to view. So I thank all of the members that participated in the membership promotional video. The third goal that I had was to create orientations. We wanted to make sure that our members had an understanding of our organization, who we are, what we do, and how we're connected to the Urban League movement. And so we were able to add an online orientation to our website for our members to view at leisure. And I wanted to thank Stephanie for being the voiceover for the online orientation. So if you have not completed your orientation, please do so. It's only 20 minutes long, and it's a great way to get the foundation of our organization. The next goal that I had was the YPeer program, and you guys hear me talk about the YPeer program all the time at general body meetings. This was a program that we created and actually launched in November to help our new members transition into the organization. And so I wanted to thank, special thanks to Ty and Kaiwan and Paul. They have been like exceptional YPers. They each have had like 5 or 6 new members that they have mentored into the organization, and so I appreciate them and all of the individuals that served as YPers within the program. The other thing that we did was Join Week. So we had over 30 members join our organization in the month of January, which was a great accomplishment. We had a successful Join Week, and next year we hope to have a Join Week where there's more programming, so we're looking forward to that as well. Another thing that we did under my leadership is to launch the new volunteer hours database. So we had received feedback from our members that said they wanted to have more transparency regarding volunteer hours and being able to see how many hours they've completed at any given time. And so now you guys can actually go in, log onto the website, and see how many hours have been recorded for you. So we're excited to have that launched this year as well. The next thing that we've had on our agenda for this year is the business directory, and that's actually something that we're trying to accomplish right now. So if you are an entrepreneur and you have not checked that yes box on your member application, please go do so. We're going to basically pull the data from there to identify the individuals that need to be on our business directory. And again, this is just a way to promote the members of our organizations, to make sure that our members know about all of the entrepreneurs within our organization. So be sure to do that. This year, we also were able to have a lot of member-only events. We had the YP Fit Club, Laying with the League, YP Kickball, and the membership. We're planning the Memorial Day weekend upcoming soon. And I wanted to shout out to Cynthia, Kwame, Aaron, Jennifer, and Brittany. They each have been pivotal in having us create member-only events, so I appreciate you guys and your efforts. Another thing that we wanted to do this year was have consistent birthday shout-outs. So we wanted to recognize our members who, when their birthdays came up, and we could not have done this without Ike and Brick, so I appreciate both of you guys. If you've ever received a card from the Urban League or a shout out in the group me, these two individuals have been instrumental in making sure that happens, so thank you. As far as moving forward, in FY17, my goals are pretty simple. From a recruitment standpoint, I really want to push the YP Ambassador Program. So this is an initiative for our seasoned and engaged YPs to go out to other events in the city on behalf of the Urban League and serve as ambassadors. And so that's something that we really want to push this year. I also personally want to make sure that we work towards establishing relationships with colleges so that the students can filter out of the colleges and into the Urban League movement. So that's going to be one of our focuses for FY17 as well. Another focus is lapsed members. We want to make sure that we have a program in place to reach out to our lapsed members to find out why they didn't renew or how we can make the organization better. So that's one of the goals for FY17 as well. Member discounts. So you guys sometimes see the free tickets to different events in the group meets, and we want to expand that even more to have discounts available at stores and for purchases of items and et cetera. So we want to kind of expand that initiative as well this year. The YPeer program, it's my baby. I love it. I want to make sure that it continues to grow and expand. Thank you to Megan and Courtney for serving as our YPeer coordinators. They're really going to take that to the next level. But I really want to make sure that our new members feel connected and engaged into the organization. And so that's a big initiative for FY17 as well. And then finally, my biggest initiative, I think, right now will be the YPTV. We have a lot of individuals in our organization who are not only entrepreneurs, but experts in their field. And we want to be able to showcase their knowledge and their skills within our organization, but also to use their knowledge and skills to develop the other members of our organization. So one of the things that I really want to do this year is to develop the YPTV. So if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to me. And then finally, my goal is to prepare the next membership chair. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on that a lot of people don't know that we do. And so we want to make sure that whoever comes into this position, that they are aware of all of the work that is required for this position, and that they know how to do all of the managing of the different tasks that I have to do on a weekly basis, so that there's a seamless transition. So that's my goal for FY17. I'm always open to any ideas that our members have. I'm very excited about the number of members that participated in the membership committee alone just this year so far. We've had over 30% of the members actually volunteer in some capacity on the membership committee, and that was a big plus for us because our goal was to make sure that we increase the engagement levels of our organization. And so I'm very excited about that. And so I hope that you guys found that we've done enough and done a lot in our in this year, and that we will continue to do more in FY17. And I hope that you will vote for me as your membership chair. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Shalondon. I am looking to see if we have any questions from the audience. It does not look like we have any questions at this time. But I would encourage the audience, those who are watching live, to submit any questions that you may have. And although we may be having a few technical difficulties, I think we can get those questions in. If you post those questions on the Google Plus page, we're able to see those. So at this time, I will turn the floor over to our next candidate for the membership chair position, and that is Brother Brad Hill. Are you there, Brad?
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. The floor is yours, Brad.
Hello, everyone. YP family, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the opportunity. Get straight into this. For those who do not know me, my name is Brad Hill. Once again, I've served on currently the social as well as membership committees. A little bit about myself, my background. Started my community service, I guess, interest in initiatives working in community service. Back in about 2003, I spent about 5 years working for one of the Atlanta City Council members, Cleta Winslow, where I worked with her on different neighborhood organizations. The NPU, neighborhood planning units. Basically what that is an opportunity to hear issues and concerns from people within the community, and we bring those up in city council meetings. I got a lot of feedback from people in the community that, hey, Brad, you should get into politics, more leadership roles. Wasn't interested in getting into politics, but I found a different platform, which was the Urban League YP program, so here I am. Got started back in 2015, and I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed getting to know everybody and just really get involved with interacting with the different members, which is why I chose to run for membership chair. So to get right into it, a couple things that during my time serving on membership committee as well as interacting with members, some things that came up as far as things that members had questions about, concerns about. A lot of the members expressed having a bit of a hard time with membership suggestions, being able to submit some of their input, some things that they would like to see changed. I actually feel like they got meaningful feedback from their suggestions. I think that's an issue we need to address and work on and try and tighten it up a little bit better moving forward, which I will plan to do as membership chair. Another thing that was of serious concern to some of the current members is a little bit more transparency from leadership as far as some changes in chair seats. There are some people that didn't understand what happened to former leadership, how did the current leadership get their certain positions, and quite honestly, if we're going to be concerned about, membership retention and making sure that current members find this organization to be transparent and on the up and up, we need to be a little bit more, open up the dialogue a little bit more about how the choices are made and some decisions are made within the Urban League YP program, so they feel as if their voices are also heard. That was one issue I want to bring up as well. I also would like to mention about more olive branch initiatives. I also do partnerships with CDC-YPN. I'm a member of CDC-YPN as a CDC employee. I think I've seen you at some CDC events also. At the CDC-YPN events, they actually expressed a great deal of interest in doing more partnerships with Urban League YPs. They would love to do it, but they just have no idea how to get involved. So I believe there's a lot of other organizations that would love to help us with our initiatives. And I think we should do a little bit better about including these other organizations in our mission because they would love to help. But they don't feel as if they've been extended to olive branch to come help us with our initiatives. So that is one of my goals moving forward if I'm chosen as membership chair, that I actually will be active and trying to implement moving forward. Also, in closing, I just want people to know I'm not trying to change anything that's not currently, that is currently working. One thing I have to definitely give kudos to the current membership chair, the YP program. I was also a part of helping construct that as well. The YP program is an awesome program. I've heard really great positive feedback from current members and new members about the program as far as them getting acclimated to the different benefits of being in Urban League. So if that's what works, let's keep that going. Let's look for ways to improve that based on membership feedback. Let's listen to the members and see what things they would like to change and let's implement those. Also, member benefits. I'm really big on listening to members to see what would you like to see implement that we aren't currently doing, because we have a lot of great things that we are currently doing. But what's something else? How do we get to the next level? Okay, and a lot of that, those new fresh ideas come from our current members. So I'm really looking forward to engaging and interacting and having meaningful dialogue with current and new members on what is their vision, what's the things that they would like to see for us to improve Urban League YP. And in closing, that's it. If there's any questions, please let me know. Thank you, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you very much, Brad. So we were looking at questions that were submitted, and I'm still seeing no questions submitted. So I hope that means that all of our candidates are being very thorough and answering all questions preemptively that come up. So let's hope that is the case. So we are running a bit ahead of schedule because we have very little question and answers period because we have very few questions being submitted. So we may be looking at the time, 8:40. Let's take a 5-minute break on let folks. I think there are a couple people who haven't joined yet, and let them join. So those who are currently logged in, please stay logged in the event that we have a question for you to come up, and that's perfectly fine. We have space for that now. And at some point, we may need some other folks to jump off. So, but please stay logged in for the next few minutes as we get a couple other people logged into the live broadcast. So at this moment, we're going to take a quick 5-minute pause and let some folks catch up. So I'll be right back in at about 8:47.
All right. Okay, I'm in here. Hey guys.
Okay, everyone, we are back. And next up, so we don't have any questions so far for the social and cultural chair candidate. So we will keep moving. So next up is the, I'm sorry, I mean for the membership. We don't have any questions for the membership chairperson. And next up is the social and cultural chairperson candidates. So first up would be Miss Christy Phone, who is here to join us. And at this moment, Christy, you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all can see me. I see your lovely faces at the bottom. Yes, I am running for social and cultural chair. I have been, as many of you may know, I was on the board for the last 2 years as a person professional development chair. So I'm really excited to stay on the board. I have coined the hashtag I love my YP, and I really do love my YP. I live and breathe this organization. I am definitely a team player, so really want to stay involved. Social and cultural speaks to me because I love making things fun for YP. Everyone jokes about being the turn-up queen. So how do we create that atmosphere and make service fun? If you know C.G. Tatum, who is our immediate past president, she also coined the hashtag service is cool. So I'd love to be able to do that as social and cultural chair. We haven't had a chair over the last 5 or 6 months, so I'd love to be able to make sure we build that team back up. And through that, as I mentioned in my vision statement and my qualifications, bring a programming aspect to social and cultural events, and also doing this in an artistic and creative format. Would love to bring YP back into the creative world where we can take performance arts outings together, like visiting museums and going to plays. Would love to really do social and cultural things in Atlanta, even doing art gallery tours, visiting the museums. The city has a lot to offer, and we can do that and do that in the service lens. So I'd love to be able to curate that unique experience for our members and show them that the city is full of history and full of culture. So I would love to be able to do that as the chair. I believe that my past experience as a PPD chair most definitely makes me qualified. Serving on the board has been incredibly fulfilling. So I look forward to continuing my presence and answering the call to leadership as the social and cultural chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Christie. So I'm feedback. I don't know why. So, question. So you mentioned making service fun. So, what would you say your primary focus would be as the social cultural chairperson if you were elected? How would you go about doing that?
The biggest thing is consistency. Making sure, for instance, we started to bring back the Empower Hour right after the general body meetings. I think that a lot of times, from what I learned as chair over PPD was that, sometimes it would be hard to create that networking experience and a lot of people like to socialize, and we want to make sure that we create that experience ongoing. So making sure that we add that Empower Hour right after the general body meetings, I think, is key, because people can wind down and have a drink, have some more food, and continue the conversation from what they just heard from the general body meeting right after the meeting. So that's one thing I would like to create. So just having that consistency with the Empower Hour. So that's one way. And then also, I think, would love to, I think that Michelle, our last year, started this, but being able to create, going on more of the brunch club outings. So doing that, whether it's once a month or at least quarterly. I know that YPs love to hang out and love to get together. So creating that consistency as well, so people know what to expect as far as our events goes. And then even with any event, if PAC needs social support after their meetings, or if membership needs some support and help, that's where we can come in to help do that. Because I know that being chair can be a lot. You're trying to get speakers, you're trying to get venues, you're trying to get food. So my past experience as PPD chair with having to manage all those tasks, we can help to assist with that as well.
Well, thank you very much. So at this moment, we don't have any other questions, so we will move on. Next up is Ms. Brittany Joseph, and I don't see Ms. Joseph on logged in, so we'll give another 30 seconds or so to see if she's able to log in. I'm checking the elections email also, and I don't have any word from her, so we'll give a couple seconds and see if she's able to join us. If not, we will move on. And next up will be the fundraising committee, which is the candidates are Kwame Afori and Aaron Petty, and Kwame will be up first, and let's make sure he gets in the queue as well. So I will pause for a second and get everything in line and be back in a couple minutes. Thanks. We have a question. I just received an email from a question for Shalandra Young. So Shalandra, before you leave the chat, we have a question for you. So stay tuned. I will get it together. Okay, we have a question from the audience for Ms. Shalandra Young. And let me pull it up real quick. So Shalandra, are you still there?
Yes, I am, Wade.
Okay, fantastic. So we have a question. And the question is, Sam talked about his specific involvement with ULGA service initiatives such as serving as the Project Ready chair, working with our affiliate, etc. Outside the event where YPs helped bring Derek to Atlanta, can Shalandra expand more on her ULGA specific service involvement with events, committee meetings, and etc.?
Yes, so I have been involved with Urban League ever since I moved to Atlanta in August of last year. Actually, Urban League was the very first organization that I joined, and I got involved with Urban League right away, assisting in any and every way possible with every committee that I could possibly be involved in. So besides the event that with bringing Derek, I have been involved with other community service activities when Crystal was the service chair. In addition to that, I have been very actively involved with fundraising, definitely assisting with PPD when I can. I'm always the one to call or show up and say, hey, if you need a hand, let me know. And that's just been my involvement. And that's what I believe service is. I don't believe service is something that someone needs to appoint to you. I believe service is taking the leadership and the initiative to step up and ask to provide a hand to others. And that's just how I have been throughout the Urban League since my involvement in August when I arrived in Atlanta.
Okay, thank you very much, Shalandra. So at this moment, we will move on to the fundraising committee and the candidates who are running for the fundraising committee chairpersonship. And we have logged in currently Mr. Aaron Petty. And so at this moment, I'll give the floor to Mr. Aaron Petty. And after that, Mr. Kwame Afori will be on, and so we'll be Kwame logged in. So at this moment, the floor, Mr. Aaron Petty, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Wade. I want to voice my appreciation for you hosting this event. I know that late on a Sunday is a time that not a lot of people want to be doing a thing such as this, so I want to voice my appreciation for that. When I initially came to Atlanta, I wanted to be involved in an organization that I felt was fundamentally progressing and accelerating the growth of African American individuals, not only locally but nationally, and I felt YP did that. I have a background in fundraising, so I'll kind of give you my background as an individual, and then I'll give you my vision for this position. I went to the University of Kentucky. I've been here about 2 years. While I was at the University of Kentucky, I was a chairperson of a fundraising event to prevent child abuse in Kentucky. Unfortunately, Kentucky is one of the top 5 states where we have child abuse, and I was able to raise $600,000 there. Great event. Was more than appreciative that a lot of individuals allowed me to be a part of this organization and of the vision of that event. Also, I come from a finance background, so when I initially came here to Atlanta, I worked with a variety of institutions and firms who were fundraising. Now, this is on an institutional level. You're talking a lot of people, individual investors who are committing to a fund. But I have been a part of fundraising efforts that may be a little bit more, I don't want to say higher tier, but they are pretty much dictate if you're going to be successful or not. So obviously with that, I gave my full effort with a lot of these organizations. And some of these organizations focused on the anti-gentrification of Atlanta, something that I am very passionate about, and something I believe that this organization can help as well. I'm also currently raising a IPO process, so it's multi-billion dollars. I, along with another individual, are driving that process with institutional investors such as T. Rowe Price and some other organizations which you may be familiar with, but I won't bore you with those. So I have a background in it. The reason I feel that I am the person for this position is that I believe without money, this organization would die, or any organization would die that is really giving efforts towards the city and individuals in the city. With my background, with my vision, and just my passion in life, I believe that all those 3 things kind of join and connect with this chair position. I have been inspired ever since I came into the Urban League just by interacting with different individuals, really understanding the impact that this organization has on individuals who may not have a chance to progress in their life. So I think that with my knowledge of fundraising, with the vision of the Urban League, of really giving back to the community, I believe that I am the best person for this position. because I have the strategic relationships with a variety of Fortune 500 companies and a variety of other smaller institutions as well, which I feel that we can also access that we may not be accessing. And I believe that the direction in which the fundraising committee and chairperson, I believe that the direction is definitely going in the right way, and I believe that I can help that direction and accelerate that direction. So I'm kind of a person who would like to get questions. Unfortunately, hopefully I ask you to ask me questions because I want to be direct with you. And I really want to show that I have a passion for this, and this is really what I want to do, and this is really what I believe in. This is what I think about, and this is what I would do even if I don't get the position at all or not. It's just because I think that at the ground level, economics is something that will greatly help the African American race, and I believe also by giving information about financial sectors and just day-to-day financial living is something that we can help. Like I said, not only locally but nationally. And I believe this organization can do that. And I don't know. I just have a passion for it, and I hope that I have your vote, and I hope you can really hear by me, portraying my thoughts to you that I truly fundamentally believe in this, and I hope that you can take that and give me a chance to take over the chairperson position. But that's all I have. And also, if you have any questions, I really want to welcome any questions. So please send any questions to Wade, and I will be on for the next hour or so, and I'm more than welcome to answer them.
Very good. Thank you very much, Aaron. We appreciate that, and definitely appreciate you being around to answer questions. As we were having some difficulty getting the questions in and getting everyone logged into the right places, as is always the case, technology is always a challenge for these types of things. But we do have a question for the social and cultural committee candidates, and so I think we have. Well, before we get to that question, I see Miss Brittany has joined the call, and Miss Brittany Joseph is also running for the social and cultural committee chairpersonship. So we will allow her to have her 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to fundraising if there are any questions, because we do have a question for social cultural committee candidates, but I want to give Brittany an opportunity to have the floor before we ask questions. So at this moment, we will turn the floor to Brittany. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. What just happened on my screen? Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Brittany Joseph. Last year, I joined Urban League of Greater Atlanta Young Professionals as a way to meet and connect with other Atlanta area young professionals. I believe that the Social/Cultural Committee is one of the most integral committees that contributes to member retention due to the following. The Social/Cultural Committee coordinates and plans member outings and events. The Social and Cultural Committee encourages member participation through mixers and excursions. The Social and Cultural Committee seeks venues that speak to the tastes of our members. It is those three aspects that are important to me as a member and as a candidate. I will seek out venues for our members that will allow us to give back to our community and allow us to explore cultural activities within the metro Atlanta area. Those goals are accomplished through establishing relationships and partnerships with metro Atlanta area businesses. By giving back to our community, they will in turn give back to us and help Urban League to recruit and retain members. I believe that I am a good candidate because I have 6 years of community service and volunteer experience. I also uphold YP values such as YP Empowered and the movement starts with you through my work in the community as a mental health paraprofessional and as a current member of Urban League of Greater Atlanta. I have dedicated my time and service on several YP activities, and I enjoy meeting new people and engaging with other members in the organization. Lastly, I enjoy coordinating and planning events. In undergrad, I served as secretary of the Political Science Club. It was my duty to coordinate and schedule meetings, as well as coordinate and plan events. As the social and cultural chairperson, I would encourage member feedback on events and activities that they would like to engage in. I would expand on those ideas by incorporating social and community activism related aspects into our member outings and events, and I would also make sure that these events are both fun and engaging. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brittany. So at this moment, we have a question from the audience that I would like to read. One second as I pull it up. So the question is to both candidates, and I will ask Christy to answer first, then Ms. Brittany. So the question is, what are some plans that you would bring to ensure that social and cultural aspect of YP creates a turnover of non-members into new members and current members into renewing members?
Hi, this is Christy. I think a big part of doing this is coordinating with the membership committee to, one, I know that Shalana did a great job of this year, but making sure there are YP ambassadors on site. And since we do distinguish between members and non-members, finding those non-members and making sure that they are, first off, welcomed at each meeting, and then secondly, connecting with those YPers and YP ambassadors have been established in advance to ask them, one, how did you hear about the event, and two, what brought you here, and three, why Urban League. So really creating a strategy around making sure that we touch all those people who come to those events. Oftentimes we see a lot of non-members who continue to show up, so it's working to ensure that they feel comfortable. So again, it's collaborating with the committees, not only at membership events, any general body meetings, PAC events. We see a lot of the same faces who come but just don't join. So I think it's really doing that personalized touch. And when we do collect their email addresses, I think we should encourage membership to follow up and then invite them again to come with us to our next event. So if we do Empower Hour after the meeting, make sure they come and do that and meet us there, because sometimes it's easier to talk in a social setting versus in a program.
All right, thank you very much. And Ms. Brittany, would you please answer that question?
Yes, just like Christy was saying, I think it takes collaborating with some of the other committees like membership committee and also the public relations committee, just to make sure that we're having events that are geared towards new members and also the current members that we do have, and still making sure that we're inclusive of those non-members who are still kind of on the fence about wanting to join. And some of the events that I would have if I was the chairperson, just to kind of foster those relationships, would be to have like the YP ambassadors introducing themselves to the new members, and then having maybe like a new member who's been there for a few months to take on like someone who's a non-member but who's expressed interest, and just reach out to that person. And then we could do like those member meetups and the member brunches, just to make sure people know each other and put names with faces.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Brittany. So at this moment, we don't have any other questions for the candidates that are on. But as you know, as we are receiving questions from a number of places, I would ask that the candidates for the Social Cultural Committee chairpersonship and fundraising stay on for a while we get everyone else in line and continue to receive questions. So give me one moment, and I think we are getting Kwame Afori in the right logged on to the session here. So give us 2 seconds and we'll be right back. Hi, Brittany. You may want to mute your phone and camera. All right, everybody, we're back. So thank you for your patience. So we have a question for Mr. Aaron Petty. I think Mr. Aaron is still on the line. So, yeah, there you go. So the question is, can you share an example of a fundraising goal you had to meet, and how did you go about meeting that goal?
Yeah, so I'm actually glad that you asked me about fundraising goals. One of the first things I would do if I was able to take the fundraising position is set a goal, and then communicate that with everyone within the organization. So that way we actually have something to go towards, and have something to we feel that we can be able to get. When I was a chairperson at the University of Kentucky Child Abuse Program, we had a fundraising goal of around $250,000. That was the year-to-year main, well, the amount of money that we usually got. When I came in, I wanted to reach that goal, but also wanted to exceed that goal, to set expectations to get to that goal the following years. By accessing different relationships that I was able to procure, not only in Kentucky but nationally. Once we were able to those relationships. Sorry, Sam, I kind of hear you on the line. But once we were able to show those relationships, and have those relationships, we were able to raise $600,000. And so we set the goal a little over 1.5. Well, we exceeded the goal and set a new goal that was 1.5 times what it previously was. So that's what I want to do, and I want to communicate that goal not only internally with the leadership team and the fundraising committee, but also the organization as a whole. Because the thing about human beings is that, you know, once there's a goal and once you actually reach that goal, everyone is excited. So I feel that my previous goal-reaching efforts did exceed those, and I want to not only have a goal that, you know, some people may not find attainable, but I personally feel that we have the people in this organization to, you know, reach unattainable things. I think that that's what this organization does, and that's why I have a passion about being a part of this organization.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron. At this time, we have Mr. Kwame Ofori, who has joined the call with us. So thank you for joining us, Kwame. We had to get you in the right place. So at this time, we'll turn the floor over to you. You have 5 minutes, and then after that, I'll pose the same question to you.
Sure. We'll have to repeat the question because I did kind of have a few technical difficulties in coming in, but here I am. So thanks for having me. Running for fundraising chair, and I appreciate you taking this time in order to listen to what I have to say, and also to like possibly see if there's a good fit between us and the agenda that I'd like to bring towards the position and help other committees. So I'll get right to brass tacks. We have like two major events that we've looked at in the past for the past year, and that's Dreamcatchers and Georgia Gives Day. And I'm thinking that we're doing a great job, and I think that we also have great leadership intact with Georgia Gives Day as well as Dreamcatchers effort. The big thing that I want to do is see if there's ways to improve fundraising, and by leveraging perhaps untapped opportunities. So we want to look over our current efforts, maintain our current customers, of course. You know, people that already contribute to us faithfully, organizations that do that. And we also want to investigate fundraising cycles, see when's the best time to go at them, when's the best time to solicit from those particular contributors and find new contributors. So once we search those new contributions and see if we can get those contributors to contribute more or find new contributors, we can use those excess funds to fund auxiliary efforts. And by auxiliary efforts, I mean programs for other committees. So for instance, membership committee, professional development committee, we'll have 3 sets of goals for each of those committees, I'm thinking. So for each of those committees, they'll have stuff that they must do, could do, and would like to do. So must do stuff will be things that are the base events and the base programs that committees want to put on, and we can possibly find these new contributors to sponsor those type of events. But I think we're going to have our usual, I would say, contributors doing that at first. Now for the could do and would like to do, that's where our new sponsors will come into. So my effort will be tracking down those new sponsors, finding ways in order to engage them better so they'll contribute more, as well as maintaining the older events that we've already traditionally supported. So 2 things, just to leave you: new events, better support for those other committees that have events, such as professional development, political awareness committee, bring in sponsors to fund those events, as well as maintaining our relationships and deepening those relationships for our older events too. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
No problem. So the question that we had from the audience was, can you share an example of a fundraising goal that you had to meet, and how did you go about meeting that goal?
And who is that addressed to? Hello?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's addressed to you,
Go ahead.
Chloe. It was addressed earlier to Mr. Aaron.
Okay, now can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Can you share an example of a fundraising goal you had to meet, and how did you go about meeting that goal?
I would say, thanks. I would say that my experience is more in the Treasury as well as the professional development committees for several nonprofits. I would say that when it came to goals, my goals were in terms of instituting new programs. My background in business and MBA is what I plan to use, as well as team members, in order to be able to achieve those fundraising goals that I've set forward. So I would say that my Treasury experience, as well as my professional development experience, combined with my background in business and MBA, will be able to supplement in that particular situation.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ofori. Okay. At this time, we don't have any additional questions for the candidates that are in the queue, but I would ask you to stay on for the next few minutes. I think we have another question coming in. I don't know exactly who it is addressed to, but please stick around for the next few minutes. And while we wait on that, I will proceed to our Public Relations Committee. We received an email recently, a couple of hours ago, from Ms. Delilah Berkeley. She will no longer be pursuing the chairpersonship for the Public Relations Committee. I think she'll be moving away from Atlanta. So we wish her well in her endeavors, I believe, in D.C. So at this time, we will not be hearing from Ms. Delilah Berkeley. So we will move on to the Political Awareness Committee chairperson, and that person, the person running for that office, is Ms. Anidra Williams, and I believe she is on the call now. So at this time, we will open up the floor to Ms. Williams and let you have your time.
Are you able to see me?
You are live.
Great. Good evening. I am Anidra Williams. I'm an Atlanta native, born and raised in Atlanta, and went to school here in Atlanta. I have a BA in communications and a law degree from Emory. I've been an active member of PAC for a while, and have really learned to love PAC and want to work harder to make PAC the leading resource for all things political and civic engagement in the city of Atlanta. And while I've been active in PAC, even serving as just a member of PAC, I led our voter registration efforts and then became the advocacy liaison for the Washington Bureau for the Atlanta chapter. Earlier this year, I was appointed as PAC chair when the prior PAC chair had to resign. And since that time, I have done 3 successful voter registration drives, a political engagement event called Beyond the Ballot that was well received, and I received an overwhelming positive feedback from it. And we look forward to continuing what we've started in the upcoming year. So some of my ideas for that, I've learned to love having voter registration drives for students. So we have started having voter registration drives for high school students in Atlanta, and we plan to continue that through the rest of this year. And because this is an election year and it's such an important time, I'd like to continue more of our voter education and engagement programming. I'd like to continue be on the ballot and make it a series and continue to keep YPs and the community engaged in the political process. And again, because it's an election year, I want to leverage our efforts and our relationships with the community and with elected officials and bring more programming that would educate the community and educate YPs. And our premiere event, PAC's premiere event, is Super Saturday. And I would love to continue that and make it even bigger and better than it was in prior years. And then again, one programming we've already decided that we wanted to do is political trivia. We want to make politics fun. I know a lot of people don't understand it, don't know where to start when they want to learn more about politics. So PAC has already started planning political trivia for the coming months, and it should be a fun and educational event that all members should really enjoy. So I look forward to working in the upcoming year if I'm elected and make PAC the best, make this the best year for PAC ever. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Nidra. I'm looking to see if we have any additional questions. And at this time, we do not. We're waiting for a question to come in, I believe, but I'm not sure if it's going to be submitted. So at this time, we're going to take a 30-second break and see if we can get one more question. If not, we will close this session. But before we do, I want to make sure that we give everyone a chance to speak and to be part of this forum. So take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have a question for the fundraising committee chair or candidates. And that question is, do you plan to acquire sponsorships in advance for ULGA-YP signature events such as Dreamcatchers, EBC, Super Saturday, etc.? So at this moment, we'll pose that question to Mr. Aaron, and then Mr. Aaron, after that, we will allow Mr. Kwame to answer.
Yes, I think right now that is the way that we're going. We are actively using our relationships that we have right now to pre-fundraise and already have that money within a, sorry, I kind of hear you, Kwame, but within a, excuse me, but within a system to where that will already be paid for. So our events that we already are going to be doing on a year-to-year basis, those things I think should be the first and foremost things that we pay for, because those are things that people know us for. Secondly, I think that by using those relationships, as Kwame referenced earlier, future relationships, we will not only possibly make those events not necessarily better, but bigger. Is something that, something I want to look into, something that I feel that we could possibly do. Just by being in YP for 2 years, I have seen our events become bigger, become more out there, have more people be knowledgeable about these events. And by using these relationships that we currently have, hopefully we can fundraise enough that we will have enough money to where we don't have to fundraise at the end and then kind of, tail between the legs, trying to, fast pace the process of getting money for these events. So that's one thing that I definitely am looking into, something that I definitely want to bring to the table, is establishing a certain amount of money so we make sure that the event goes through. but also raising more money so we could possibly make that event exceed expectations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kwame, I will repeat the question for you. So the question is, how do you plan to acquire sponsorships in advance for ULGA-YP signature events, Dreamcatchers, EBC, Super Saturday, etc.?
Sure. Can you see me?
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. Well, I can't see myself, but I'll go ahead and answer. Two things. We've got, I would say, our contributors' calendar and people. First thing about our contributors' calendar is making sure that we know when they're actually giving funds out, when they're actually in the process of deliberating and giving those funds out, and making sure that we have an established database of those dates and those milestones when they're actually going to be considering where they're going to allocate funds for the upcoming fiscal year. So by having a database of that and possibly putting a committee member or two in charge of that, we can accurately know when to target these particular contributors in order to ensure that we are funded for our events well in advance. Now, we can also use a CRM, a customer relationship management software, to do that if we need to. So that might be something that we could incorporate into that. So being organized in that front is a critical thing. I love doing things far in advance. And while I think we've done a great job in terms of like being able to fund our things successfully, there's nothing wrong with adding an element of organization to it, an organization which is repeatable and documentable. So that's one of the things. The other thing is people. Atlanta's a city of relationships. So, I mean, the definite thing to do is to ask people what type of message is going to reach, I would say, our contributors in order to make them want to contribute more. Now, is it going to be, hey, you can like have name branding or licensing for a particular event? And is it going to be, or is it just going to be a blind contribution thing? The answer is going to be different for different type of companies and different type of organizations. So it's going to be our job to understand our contributors at a detailed level in order to be able to elicit larger contributions from them. So people, and definitely understanding calendars, understanding those companies' calendars. And I want to stress that while we do have, I would say, base events, we have to have like almost a triangle of events that we have to kind of organize or silo our events into. Those that we have to do in order to, like, let's just say 2017 is a bad fiscal year for some reason. We have to be able to say, all right, this is the level of event that we would like to put on based upon the fundraising that we pulled in. This is our base level operation. Then we can also have the nice to have and what we could do for our feature events. Same thing goes for the membership committee, the fundraising committee, the community service committee. If they need additional funds in order to expand their programs, then I think the fundraising committee should pull in efforts in order to see if we can make that happen through improving our outreach to our contributors and seeing what they would like to do in order to help sponsor those auxiliary events. For instance, I would say with the Political Action Committee, we are looking in order to like find a venue for several events coming up in this election year. Wouldn't it be nice to have like some type of, I would say, branding that could possibly help pay for those events instead of like digging into the treasury? These would be possible things that we could do. So people definitely understand the consumers and understanding the vision of what I put forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwame. We have another question for the candidates running for the fundraising committee chairpersonship. That question is for both candidates. how have you supported YP fundraising this past year? And I will start by, we'll switch up the order because I don't want to bias things. So Mr. Kwame, can you answer that first, and then we'll give it over to Mr. Aaron.
Okay, back on camera. Thanks, Wade. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking in charge of the silent auction for the Dreamcatchers event coming up. So doing that, as well as perusing back into like some of our records and seeing what we could do in order to improve things. So those are the things that I'm looking to like lean upon, and also previous experience from my prior roles in order to be able to successfully adapt and lead this position.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Aaron, same question. And that question is, wait 1 second. Yes, well. Okay, well, basically, the question is, how have you been involved in YP fundraising events this past year?
Okay. Well, I've been a member of YP for a little over a year now. The first committee I joined was the fundraising committee. Like I said, I believed in the vision of the fundraising committee, and I believe that the fundraising committee can be the economic base of the Urban League, but also for, as Kwame referred to, other committees as well. I have voiced my, not ambition, but I really want to be, a leading person within the effort of YP's vision and the fundraising vision. So I've been involved and have really helped Roy with anything he's needed. Over the past 6 months, we've been in conversations, late night conversations about fundraising events, and unfortunately, Roy is in well, not unfortunately, fortunately, Roy is in China, so he is enjoying his China visit with his MBA program right now. So he tasked me with leading efforts of Dreamcatchers events and really helping individuals be involved in that, and with him and Terry Ons and Ashley as well, we have built a vision of what we want the Dreamcatchers event to be. Different avenues that we could possibly access, as Kwame referred to as a silent auction, different items that we could possibly get for that, as well as institutional partnerships that may really commit to the event in regards to sponsoring scholarships. And also, we're really leading the effort for individual sponsorships as well. So that was an idea that happened around a week ago, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, though we really felt that individuals such as YP members or outside individuals could really help sponsor a kid. I think that personal relationship is a little bit different than saying that you're getting a scholarship from XYZ company. So that was one of the things that we really helped with, because fundamentally YP is as Kwame referred to earlier, personal relationship, and we really want to help our members get involved. So I have been a part of the fundraising committee. I believe in the vision of the fundraising committee. I hope to help the vision of the fundraising committee if I am chosen for this position and accelerate our fundraising efforts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron. We have another question for the fundraising committee, specifically for Mr. Kwame. And the question is, Aaron elaborated on past fundraising goals achieved. Can you answer past theory or education? How would you reach tangible goals for the organization, and what transferable skills would apply?
That's a tough question. I'm trying to, so understand it exactly. So we're saying past fundraising experience, number one, tangible goals, number two, and then
Well,
the third person.
I'll rephrase the question. So it says, can you answer, in addition to your the education or theory, how would you reach tangible goals for the organization? What transferable skills would apply?
Transferable skills, I'll go with that part first. Marketing skills, definitely something that I've learned about. Being my own business owner at this point in terms of digital marketing and seeing how we can expand that in order to help out with fundraising. I would say also skills just in general, being an engineer, being organized, knowing how to, in order to contact and interact with customers as well as find a technical solution that can help them out. So bringing that to ULGA-YP and bringing a fresh perspective is really what I'm looking to do. I've not had the traditional fundraising chair position before, but I do know a little bit something about sales, and I do know a little bit something about, I would say, understanding people. So I would bring those personality traits, a fresh perspective, and also like being able to work with the team, having an almost democratic team function, in addition to providing strong leadership in order to achieve what goals we deem are necessary. And that's the first part of the question I think that was asked, is what goals are we going to choose? I would like to take a look definitely about how we did in 2015 and 2016 and see what is reasonable. See what stretch goals we can achieve in terms of like saying, hey, do we want to have more money in advance and by this particular time for the Dreamcatchers event? Do we want to be able to put this much promotion into Georgia Gives? What did we do last time? And how can we go ahead and improve upon that if need be? What's going to be our maximum impact type of activities that we can use in order to be able to have more funds at earlier times for all of our committees and all of our programs? So I would say that I bring a fresh perspective and ability to audit that background and see how we did in order to improve things going forward. So that's really what I want to get into, and that's the approach that I'm going to take if elected to this position.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwame. Okay, we have a question for the Social and Cultural Committee Chair candidates. I think they're both still on the line. Yes, Christy and Brittany. So the question is, so it is said that Michelle did a phenomenal job while she was in the role of social chair. Can each of the candidates share how they contributed to the social committee / events while Michelle was the chair or in office, after she and after she was no longer in office? So Christy, I'll let you answer first, and then we'll let Brittany answer.
Sure. As I mentioned in my vision statement and qualifications, I have a number of social and business connections throughout Atlanta. With the holiday party, probably about 6 to 8 months in advance, I had offered up a full list of venues with a good friend of mine who works for Jack Daniels. So we, although we didn't use one of the venues, I still have that connection. So should we decide to host something with my friend, we would already have a place and an alcohol sponsorship. And he's also willing to help us with that. I also had offered up another spirits connection as well for other events. I also hosted the game night that we did last July. Again, just, you know, my willingness to host and contribute in that way. And then this wasn't it was sort of a social, but more of a service event. We were able to host a toiletry service drive at Negril Village, which ended up being social as well, through a friend of mine who promotes there. And these were all done for free with no cost to the organization. We have to adhere to guidelines when we do work with the organization. So I was able to do that at no cost. I also was able to get sponsorships for liquor when we were raising money for Project Ready as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And same question to Ms. Brittany Joseph. I will reread the question for you. Michelle did a phenomenal job while she was in the role of social chair. Can each of the candidates share how they contributed to the social committee and to its events while Michelle was in office and after she was no longer in office?
Okay. When I originally joined Urban League, the Social and Cultural Committee was one of the first committees that I joined, along with membership. And I did serve with Michelle, and I enjoyed working with her. And I helped her plan the YP holiday party that we had last year, which I loved. I thought it was a great success. And just helped her plan other events, such as the Brunch Club and the YP Fit Club. And after she left, I worked with Shalondon during Join Week and helped plan some of those events, like the Join Week finale at Lobby Hookah. So, like I said before, I do enjoy helping with planning and coordinating events and just creating those partnerships with different businesses.
All right, thank you very much. So we have probably time for one more question. And this question goes out to the community service candidates. And I think Ms. Shalandra Young is still on the call with us. And so this question will be posed to you. And the question is, what are your top 3 priorities to ensure that Project Ready stays active? How do you plan to engage YPs and empower them to become mentors in Project Ready students?
Sorry about that. So the first thing that I would do in engaging Project Ready in Urban League is, one, to do a orientation, to bring, I think that it's vital that we bring in Project Ready members to some of our general body meetings, so that we as members can see what our efforts are going towards, to understand the programming better. I think, too, in involving mentorship is to be able to connect. Not through speed mentoring. Speed mentoring is great, but definitely one-on-one, building rapport. So I think that if we have more, are more intentional with our service delivery as it involves Project Ready, and bringing members in as well as connecting them with the youth, is building that rapport. So the one key thing in working with youth is building a rapport. You can want to mentor them, but if you don't have that relationship, it's very hard to get through them to another level. So I think that involvement in having not just a one-time interaction, but being able to properly match youth with YP, with some of our young professionals, is going to be key in that. So knowing up front, and working with membership, when we have new members coming in, making sure that we are soliciting information if they are interested in mentoring from the beginning. What are their likes? What are their hobbies? And then also doing dual efforts with Project Ready, and understanding what is it that certain youth need, so that we can make proper matches in that respect. And then, 2, making sure that as we reach out to be able to mentor and foster that connection with Project Ready, is to continue to ensure that not only we're supporting our affiliate, but also ensuring that we're supporting those families as well. So I do think that that's key. So those are 3 things that I definitely would want to do and being able to continue to bridge that relationship. And one last thing, I think that it would be important for us to be more involved consistently in a Project Ready program. So whether it's adopting a certain day of the month that we're consistently there and we're present. I think it's key in community service, especially with young people, that they understand that we're fluid, that they can see and that we're transparent and they can touch us. So meeting them where they are. So them being able to make a connection, knowing that, you know, Urban League Young Professionals, they're here. I know that they're consistently here on this day every month. So maybe if I'm not ready or at that level where I can engage with them as a mentor, I can still meet with them. I can still connect with them because I can consistently know and plan for their time around our programming. So I think that that's key, and I think that's one thing I definitely would want us to push for, is to have consistent days each month where we're able to meet those young people where they are and to build those connections and that rapport with them.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Shalandra. So at this time, we are about to run out of time. So we will wrap the forum up. I want to thank all of the candidates for your time and your devotion to YP, and I want to thank all those who joined us and viewed our session. I hope that it was informative. I hope that it allowed you to learn a little bit more about the candidates who are running for office, who want to represent you and the organization. I want to let everyone know who's listening that tomorrow on Monday we will have a candidate mingle for all the candidates who are running for office for this election. We'll have a little happy hour to allow you to meet the candidates and to ask additional questions that were not able to be asked during this forum, or any questions that may come up between now and then as you are able to think more about the candidates' positions and their platforms. So the candidate mixer will be tomorrow starting at 6:30 at Steel Restaurant and Lounge, which is at 950 West Peachtree Street here in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, that is our candidate mixer at 6:30 tomorrow at Steel at 950 West Peachtree. So I hope that you all can join us there. It'll be a good time. We'll have drinks. Well, we won't be paying for drinks, but we'll all have drinks, I'm sure. And some appetizers and an opportunity to meet these fabulous candidates and speak with them personally. So that being said, I want to thank everyone again and hope that you all have a blessed evening and hope to see you tomorrow. Good night.